फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello and welcome to the CricketNext YouTube channel. India versus England, fifth test, day 2, and the day 2 belongs to India, just as day 1. What a splendid performance by the Indian team in these 2 days. And I mean, for the England fans, the visuals behind the stadium were much better, because whatever was happening on the field was absolutely not a good visual for the English fans. But the man you can see on the screen, both the person, rather, Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma, 2 centurions of the day, the kind of performance that they gave today. India is completely on the driving seat. I think it's safe to say, but I have my experts with me and we'll see if they agree or not. And we'll also have a discussion about day 2 and the match so far. Well, with me, I have today Jamie Alter and Taus Rizvi. And soon we'll be shortly be joined by Sahil Malhotra and K. Srinivas Rao. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Taus. Jamie, what a day for the Indian team. 2 centurions, and then also some good contributions from the likes of debutant David Padikkal, Sarfaraz Khan, and then Kuldeep and Bumrah. We'll come to them, but we'll start with Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma. What do you have to say about their innings today?
No, I mean, beyond the innings, I mean, this is like we saw kal ke din, entertainment. 90 overs, 338 runs, 8 wickets, centuries to both batsmen. Tausba and I were of the belief that both of them were on track for 200, but still,
Yeah.
2 very important hundreds for players at contrasting ends of their careers. 9 महीने बाद 252-250 दिन के बाद बेन स्टोक्स ने पहली बार बॉलिंग करी और रोहित शर्मा का ऑफ स्टंप उखाड़ा। जेम्स एंडरसन 5 मिनट बाद उन्होंने वही सेट शुभमन गिल को निकाला। 699, a fantastic debut innings from Particle. सरफराज एक और 50। शोएब बशीर रन खा रहे हैं लेकिन विकेट भी ले रहे हैं। टॉम हार्टली रन खा रहे हैं, विकेट ले रहे हैं। और फिर सबसे बड़ी बात कि कुलदीप यादव ने 55 गेंदें खेले और जसप्रीत बुमराह ने 55 गेंदें खेले। मतलब व्हाट मोर डू यू वांट? एवरी फैसेट ऑफ वाइट टेस्ट क्रिकेट इज, to my mind, the best sport in all history of sports was on view across 90 overs in Dharamsala. Yeah, what an entertaining day.
Absolutely thorough entertainment for the Indian fans, as we call it, the box office stuff. Taus, as Jamie said, what a day for the Indian team, starting from Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, the century, and then followed by debutant Padikkal, Sarfaraz. What do you have to say about India and their performance today?
Great day, but yaar, disappointed that each and every person missed out on a milestone. यार अब जब है बैटिंग कंडीशंस हैं, यहाँ पर मजा आ रहा है, एंजॉय कर रहे हो, आप रन्स बना रहे हो, आपको इजी है रन्स आने में, डिफिकल्ट नहीं है। आप फिर बाद में आप जाके मतलब 3 फिगर मार्क के आप आगे बढ़ा के 150-200 मिस कर रहे हो, फिर उसके बाद आप 50s बना के 60s बना के 100 मिस कर रहे हो, तो वो इनकम्प्लीटनेस, सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं आता है। इंडिविजुअली आई होप इनको भी नहीं आया होगा, अदरवाइज वो हंग्री फॉर रन्स, या रन्स का हंगर है वो उनको अभी भी रहना चाहिए। बिकॉज आई मीन ठीक है, यू शुड नॉट बी हैप्पी विद दोज लाइक 100 मिल गया तो हैप्पी। यू शुड थिंक अबाउट द बिगर माइलस्टोन और मे बी इंडिविजुअल स्कोर या टीम स्कोर को आप बड़ा आगे कैसे ले जा सकते और फोर्स कर सकते कि यार उनको एक बार बैटिंग करना फिर खत्म कर देना। बिकॉज दिस वाज द बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी। आई मीन गुड दैट दीज गाइज आर बैटिंग, कुलदीप एंड जसप्रीत बुमराह, और खींच के लेके गए 500 तक लेके जाएंगे, विच वी वर एक्सपेक्टिंग। बट वी वर एक्सपेक्टिंग, मी एंड जेमी भाई, यार 800-900 वो श्रीलंका वाला रिपीट हो जाएगा जहां पर हम खाए थे मार, 900,000 रन तक पहुंच गए थे। सो दिस वुड हैव बीन अ ग्रेट, दिस वाज अ ग्रेट प्लेटफॉर्म। बड़े रन मारते, मजा आता, थोड़ा रोहित को थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस मिलता वर्ल्ड कप के पहले, और वो फेथ बिल्डअप हो जाता फिर से कि यार ये बंदा अभी ओल्ड नहीं हो रहा, ये इसमें अभी भी वो है जज्बा। बट वो एक रोहित की तरफ से एक मिस आउट हो जाता है यार। वो ओडीआई में बड़े स्कोर कर लेते हैं, 4 डबल 100 है, मगर टेस्ट क्रिकेट में 1 डबल 100, कुछ तो कहीं पर मतलब मिसिंग पॉइंट एक हो जाएगा, उनके खुद के रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे अगर। बट शुभमन गिल, आई मीन दिस वाज अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी यार टू स्कोर बिग। आई मीन जब आप एटलीस्ट यहाँ पर सरफराज, आई वाज अनहैप्पी यार। आप हाथ में कैच दे रहे हो, आप कन्वर्जन में आपको पता है कैसे कन्वर्ट किया जाता है from chota score to a big total, and this guy is used to it. I'm surprised he did not capitalize on it, yaar. Or easy catch दे दिए slip में. Wondering, terrible. But then ठीक है, happy, good. End of the day, सही है. But it could have been better actually with
Would
the
have
bat.
been better. Jamie, do you share these thoughts? Because I saw your tweet and you wrote a line that a day of missed milestones. I'm sure you're talking about Devdutt Padikkal, Sarfaraz Khan. They were well set above their 50s. Are you disappointed that they didn't go on to score their respective hundreds?
Not just them. I mean, the score should have been 550 for 4 at stumps, the way it was going. Okay, we discussed this briefly, but I'm glad that we're back on this topic. Chalo, we discussed this. I won't repeat myself. Hats off to Rohit, who's had a damn tough tour. He got 100. Hats off to Shubman Gill, जो इस सीरीज की शुरुआत में लग नहीं रहा था कि वो 5 टेस्ट मैच खेलेंगे. He's kept himself relevant. He's had 452 runs in the series. The point is, रोहित शर्मा ने 150 रन बनाने थे, शुभमन गिल ने 175, 200 बनाने थे. This was the easiest chance for a debut 100 from Devdutt Padikkal, and this was the day which, the way he was batting, the way he caught up, Sarfaraz Khan should have had 100. I'm shocked कि रोहित शर्मा जो सेट 150 गेंदे तकरीबन खेल के पहली बॉल ब्रेक के बाद एक ऐसे इंसान को आउट हुए जिन्होंने 250 दिन से बॉलिंग नहीं करी. Inexcusable. If you want to be harsh, should, like Tasbai said, why are you getting out for just after 100? Go for a daddy 100. Rohit Sharma threw away a daddy 100. Good thing is Shubman Gill के मुंह में जब माइक डाला तो he said, मैं मानता हूं कि मैंने बहुत रन्स आज बाहर छोड़े. At least he's accepting it, right? He's accepting it. Rohit Sharma, he won't accept it. But again, that's his skill. Like Tasbai said, he must be happy with 4 one-day double hundreds and only 1 test 100. Shubman Gill ने at least माना कि भाई ये अहम मौका था, golden opportunity, नहीं हो पाया. Devdutt Padikkal can at least say, I got a good ball. What the hell was Sarfaraz Khan doing? Pehli ball getting out to Shoaib Bashir. I mean, are you Rahul Dravid opening the face in the morning to give catches? Bright future, but if you want to get harsh, this should have been 550 for 4. आप ये मैच जीत जाओगे, आप कल के दिन ये मैच जीत जाओगे. ऐसे सिचुएशंस में आपको बेसबॉल को खत्म करना चाहिए था. आपने बेसबॉल को अभी भी मैच में रखा है टेक्निकली. Why? Finish it, no. Did James Anderson earn that ball? अच्छी बॉल थी, but यार आप 100 मार चुके हो. बेन स्टोक्स यार 9 महीने से बंदे ने बॉलिंग नहीं करा. आप 100 पे खेल रहे हो. कैसे आउट हो गए भैया? राइट? मॉर्निंग सेशन में तो आप जेम्स एंडरसन को हाई एल्बो मार रहे थे. Again, it always happens after a break. Sometimes well-set batsmen lose the plot. Again, maybe लोग देख रहे बोलेंगे ये क्या बोल रहा है यार, नहीं पागल हो गया. Team has a big lead. It did, but this was a day of missed milestones. Let's say Devdutt Padikkal has to wait for another 2 years to play. Won't he be kicking himself? Pata wicket, England team, thakeli, 0 scoreboard pressure. You should have got 100. It was a very good day for India, but like Tasbai said, it is a day of squandered opportunities and missed milestones. 100%.
Absolutely. And also, if we are talking about if we are being harsh, Dhruv, Jurel, the way he got out, I mean, yes, he was going for a 6, but getting caught at the boundary. And then Jadeja playing at a strike rate of 30 while everybody is around 60s, 90s. This is just to be a devil's advocate. But Taus, were you unhappy with Dhruv Jurel, especially because he is someone who has showed immense promise? And obviously, we'll come to all the good things that the Indian team has done today. We are just getting it out of the way those silly mistakes that, let's just say, Dhruv Jurel did with his dismissal.
Yeah, actually, each one of them, like आप ऊपर से नीचे तक count करोगे जो batting number, each one of them would be kicking themselves right now. I mean, for that missed opportunity, each one of them, starting from Yashasvi Jaiswal, 57. Seriously. How can you get out like that? And then when you come to Dhruv Jurel, somebody who has proved himself, who got a man of the match in the last game, is this how you play? But then that's okay. For I believe like मैं यशस्वी जायसवाल से ज्यादा नाराज हूँ या सरफराज से ज्यादा नाराज हूँ या पडिक्कल से. Okay, Padikkal was a good ball, but आप जब यहाँ पर सेट हो जाते हो तो आपको उसको कैपिटलाइज कैसे करना चाहिए, आना चाहिए आपको, क्योंकि आप एक तो 700 रन बना चुका है, दूसरा बंदा फॉर्म में लग रहा है, दूसरे ने छक्के मार दिया स्क्वायर लेग के ऊपर और आपको स्ट्रेट ड्राइव्स ब्यूटीफुल दिखा रहा है सरफराज खान ऊपर से मार के, या शुभमन गिल. बट ध्रुव जुरेल का भी एक लर्निंग कर्व है यार. अटैकिंग इंस्टिंक्ट आ गया, आपने स्टेप आउट किया, मारा, आपने कोशिश की और अच्छा मतलब फ्लाइट दिया था, यू वेंट आउट ऑफ योर वे। ऐसा नहीं कि आप कर्ब कर लोगे इंस्टिंक्ट, ठीक है, ये माइलस्टोन पे भी नहीं थे, या ही वाज नॉट इवन क्लोज, ही वाज गेटिंग अ गुड स्टार्ट। बट एक ये इस पे दूंगा ध्रुव जुरेल को यार, अटैकिंग इंस्टिंक्ट थी उसकी, वो आया, उसको ही वांटेड टू प्ले दैट शॉट। आप जबरदस्ती आउट होने तो आप हवा में नहीं मारते, आप चाहते हो एक बड़ा शॉट खेलने के लिए, बट वो टाइम नहीं होता है। बट हाँ, अगर आप सॉफ्ट डिसमिसल होता या आप राजन पटीदार जैसा डिसमिसल होता तो आई वुड हैव गॉट मोर अपसेट, एंग्री विद ध्रुव। बट देन ठीक है, उन्होंने एक करना था, उनको किया। ऐसा नहीं कि अब ये भी बोलेंगे कि यार अब आराम से कॉशियस होकर अप्रोच, गेम अपना था, बैटिंग अपनी थी, तो आप अटैक करने के। अच्छा, अगर आप वो पोजीशन पे आके यार 49 या 99 या 199 पे ऐसा खेलते तो आउट होते तो कन्विंस नहीं होता, या छक्का जाता तो ज्यादा खुश होते, आउट होते तो कन्विंसिंग नहीं होता। सो वो फैक्टर मैं ध्रुव जुरेल में माइनस करूंगा। बट देन या would have been better, would have been more ये, but it's a learning curve basically for all these youngsters. मगर रोहित शर्मा के लिए I won't wear him यार, what is this nonsense?
Yeah. No, fair point, fair point. And I think I have with me, K. Srinivas Rao here, live from Dharamsala. Hi, Shrini. What a splendid day for the Indian team. The way they scored and the mammoth lead that they have, 255, 2 centurions, and also some promise showed by the likes of David Padikkal, Sarfaraz. We all know the kind of batter he is. What do you have to say about India and their performance on day 2?
See, the match is in their grasp. Okay, I mean the match is not going anywhere from here. How many has England played a full quota of 80 overs any time in the during this Test series? So I think barely once. I think so. Kind of 80-90 overs. So I am assuming the match should get over tomorrow, even if India bat for the first half an hour or something. That's not the point. The thing is, these youngsters need to build an appetite, okay, to score, to be there at the pitch, to be there on the pitch. Like, for example, I mean, today is the second day. So, what exactly was India trying to achieve today? Was the whole idea to kind of bat till the end of the day and then begin afresh tomorrow? Because obviously, I'm assuming that's the reason they did not declare, that's the reason they didn't do anything, right? That's the reason why tomorrow morning India will bat again. So, what exactly was the big picture India was looking at? Were they looking to declare tomorrow, or were they looking to bat? So, if the idea was to continue batting, then I don't see some of the strokes and how they made sense. I mean, I heard House say that, youngsters, maybe they learn. The point is, when you're playing at this level, this is just the second day of the test match on with a forecast for the next 2 days of brilliant test match weather. The wicket is good for batting. Nothing exactly is wrong. What exactly is your hurry? It is either a case of hurry or is a case of, caught off guard. I mean, today for me, the most irritating part was to see the dismissal of Sarfaraz Khan. When he came off the line, first ball, and what were you doing? I mean, that casualness with which you kind of give away a wicket. I mean, it is frustrating to watch people give away wickets like that. You need to put a price on the wicket. Jurel, again, I was not convinced with the six that he went for at that point, at that juncture, where I was thinking that, okay, fine, let's build something from here. And these guys had a brilliant opportunity to kind of not just take a score, but kind of, you are playing a test match against England. Even if it's the test match may not really mean anything from a series standpoint, at least for India. You still are playing a very quality opposition. There is James Anderson there, there's Ben Stokes out there. You're playing a very quality opposition. Make the most of it. Understand what temperamental levels are needed to face these bowlers. Where else will you get an opportunity like this? You just throw your wicket and go away. I mean, I thought that was very unconvincing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we have been talking about, Shini. We have Sahil Malhotra with us also from Dharamsala. Sahil, a great day for the Indian team. We have been talking about amazing centuries and the performance that the players did. But we started the live with Jamie started in and then Taus joined in and perfectly added by Shini. The fact that some of the batters did have a start, they scored their 50s, but they didn't somehow go on to score their respective centuries or big scores for that matter. Do you have something to add to it? Do you agree with it that they should have again capitalized on this opportunity and batted for a long time?
Yeah, I think two names which come to my mind, are Sarfaraz Khan and Dhruv Jurel. Sarfaraz, why I say that, because this was his third half century. He missed out on scoring 100 on debut when he was unfortunately run out, and this was his moment, right? And he did work very hard to get that half century. Matlab, if you look at the first half of his innings, he kind of did weather that storm, because early on things were difficult for him. He was tested by both pace and spin, particularly more by pace. But after that, he just settled in, looked all at ease versus Mark Wood. The ramp was out, a beautiful pull followed. So 100 was there for the taking for him. And you don't get pitches like these that often. You never know what's going to happen when New Zealand and Bangladesh come here, or when we go to Australia, what kind of pitches you will have. So these are the pitches where you kind of get amongst the runs, get the flow back. And that is primarily what Shubman Gill did. Shubman Gill was looking for that fluent 100. He had a very nervy 100 in Vizag. Looked good in Rajkot, but still was very tentative. But this probably was the most fluent knock he has played in the series. Conditions helped, but this is what big players do. When the conditions allow you to do the talking, you make a big 100. Big 100 didn't come from Shubman, but it was a very, very fluent 100. And these are the kind of knocks which give you confidence ahead of challenging assignments. So this is something which both Jurel and Sarfaraz should have looked to do.
Yeah. And Sahil, talking about Shubman Gill here, a splendid 100. Do you think he has made number 3 his home now? His father disagrees. He still believes that he shouldn't have come down to number 3, and opening was a perfect position for him. But do you think that he is back in form now, proper?
Firstly, I think fathers should stay away from cricket now. You have done your bit, yaar. He's playing international cricket. Please don't make such remarks. There's no point. मतलब मैं ताउस भाई से भी उस दिन लाइक बात कर रहा था, discussing the press box also, similarly with Sarfaraz also. No, अब हो गया, खेल रहा है यार, just stay away. Why like do all the chatter and all the talk? He himself has asked for number 3. So what are you suggesting? There's a family trouble going on that the father thinks he should open and he thinks he should bat at number 3. There's no requirement for all this. There are people who probably know better than the father where he should bat. I'm not saying the father isn't entitled to his opinion. He should have that, but enjoy the moment. यार, he scored 100. मतलब उस टाइम पे ये सब अभी required नहीं है ना. तो मतलब अभी मतलब fathers का जमाना गया, अभी लड़के का जमाना है यार. He scored 100 and this was a very testing series for him. If you look at the build-up, runs weren't there, and after that Hyderabad test, the pressure was on him. So that's why I think 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, when he ends up scoring thousands of runs for India, he'll remember the Vizag knock as the defining knock in his career, where he kind of got that self-belief back that I belong at this level, I can still score runs at number 3. You were filling in big shoes, right? Rahul Dravid, Cheteshwar Pujara. Briefly, India tried Hanuma Vihari, and now Shubman Gill. It was a big move because he himself asked for that position. So 400 plus runs, 1 century, 2 centuries, 1 half centuries. That should, or Ranchi also half century, no, 2 half centuries. Yeah. So, मतलब बहुत बड़ा series रहा है उसके लिए यार. Different conditions, different situations. So it's good that he finally got a track close to Ahmedabad, which is kind of always associated with that he's an Ahmedabad bully, वो सिर्फ flat track पे खेलता है. तो अच्छा यार, इतना हार्ड वर्क करके आया, वैसा विकेट मिला तो उसने आज कैपिटलाइज करा, और शोएब बशीर को फिर से एक बैटर ने तारे दिखा दिए, तो मजा आया. शोएब बशीर छोड़ो, जेम्स एंडरसन को टेस्ट वो जो छक्का मारा ना, वो आई थिंक शॉट ऑफ द सीरीज था.
Absolutely, and also Ben Stokes' reaction उस shot के बाद, he was quite impressed by that shot, and that's exactly what Jamie. An out of form Shubman Gill and now in form Shubman Gill. As a viewer sitting outside, what do you think? What are the changes that you have seen in Shubman Gill? One point, as Sahil said, आगे बढ़ के छक्का मारा, something again his dad said that he has now again started coming out of the crease. पहले वो crease में रह रहे थे, उन्होंने आगे आना बंद कर दिया था. What are the changes you see in Shubman Gill and out of form Shubman Gill and today what we saw?
It's not so much about any noticeable technical flaw. I mean, the way he was bowled to Anderson is the way he's been bowled 3 times in this series already. So technique mota wahi hai. He's not getting out to spinners as much. That's good, because we saw in the first test match and first 3 innings, he was playing like Patidar, gap, the bat is lunging, Again, I mean, who am I to talk about technique? But we saw that, Again, I mean, it looks stunning when you're walking down to James Anderson and lofting him, but again, flat track, a fatigued England team. ये तेरा Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins और Josh Hazelwood को एक बार करके दिखाना, then we'll talk, na? It's good. It's good that Shubman Gill has stayed relevant. It's good that he's still around, but we've seen, yeah, he didn't do a damn thing in South Africa. He's gone to England 3 times, can't score runs there. It's good. I'm very happy. I had almost written him off. Hats off to him for staying around with 452 runs. But this is home. This is home. Please do this at the Gabba, at the MCG. Jahan pe hum khelenge, right? Hats off to him. But still, I don't believe he's ready for number 3 at the long point. Ya to dobara opening usko bhejo, ya 4 or 5. A number 3 batsman does not get bowled the way he does to James Anderson, a guy who's 41. Taking nothing away from him. I'm being extra harsh here, but we're talking about a position occupied for a decade each or more by Pujara and Rahul Dravid. Ye number 3 nahi hai. He's come back very, very well. Hats off to you. बहुत कुछ अभी करना बाकी है.
Well, that's an interesting take. Taus, you were shaking your head. Do you agree or disagree with this opinion of Shubman Gill?
I agree. I don't know why I agree, because see, opening and number 3, it's almost the same, right? But number 3 पे ज़्यादा pressure होता है, because when you lose opener, when you start as an opener, it's like you are free of mind. Like there is no demons in your head. You can play freely. You have an opening partner like Rohit Sharma out there at the non-strikers head. So you can just go out there, enjoy the game, get those strokes. You are for Shubman Gill, I would say he enjoys playing fast bowlers much more than spinners. तो जब आप नंबर 3 पे आते हो तो सिचुएशन पूरा पलट जाता है. I mean, जल्दी विकेट जाती है या बैक टू बैक 2 विकेट गई, तो then you have to be you have a major role here. You have to take the whole responsibility. You have to take the role of an anchor. आप कैसे उसको निभाते हो, फिर आप बाकी के साथ कैसा खेलते हो, फिर आप फास्ट बॉलर्स को कैसे, how do you take them on, then you have spinners to tackle once they come in. So there are a lot of things, lot of factors involved. But when as an opener 10-15 स्पेल का होता है एक फास्ट बॉलर का, फास्ट बॉलर्स, this guy plays fast bowlers very well. I mean, he likes to on the rise खेलना. You saw the shots that he played today against fast bowlers. Simply amazing. Those cover drive, lovely, beautiful looking. Those cut shots, कोई हाथ नहीं लगा पा रहा था. But then number 3 again, I agree with this with his father's statement कि यार क्रिकेट ये नंबर 3 उसके लिए नहीं है. But then yeah, cricketing fathers जो होते हैं वो बड़े डिफिकल्ट होते हैं, उनके सामने मतलब डील करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है, तो प्रेशर तो रहता है. बट आई वुड से लाइक कि यहाँ पर नंबर 3 वो सूट नहीं करता, बिकॉज यू हैव सीन द लेगेसी दैट हैड, जेमी भाई ने बताया और हमने देखा है, राहुल द्रविड़, पुजारा, आई मीन दीस गाइस हैव बीन वॉल. तो वॉल ऐसे ही नहीं कहा जाता. वॉल मतलब आपके बैट और पैड के बीच में गैप नहीं होना चाहिए. आप रन्स मत बनाओ, मगर आपको वहां पर स्टे करना है, एंड देन आपके आजू बाजू रहेंगे, वो रन्स बनाएंगे. पुजारा रन्स नहीं बनाते थे, मगर ग्रेजुअली आई मीन बनाते थे, बट देन ही वाज, राहुल द्रविड़ ज्यादा अग्रेसिव थे कंपेयर टू पुजारा. सो यहाँ पर सिर्फ अग्रेशन नहीं चाहिए, यहाँ पर सिर्फ ब्यूटीफुल लुकिंग शॉट्स नहीं चाहिए. यू हैव टू बी द वॉल. अब वो वॉल आपको ढूंढना है, या तो आपको डिसाइड करना है, खुद कन्विंस करना है कैप्टन को कि भाई आई कैन नॉट प्ले एट दिस नंबर 3 इज टू डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी राइट नाउ. आई वांट टू ओपन और बैट एट नंबर 4 विराट कोहली जाने के बाद. Number 3 is a tough job to, a huge, big role to play, which I don't believe Shubman Gill has been able to do it. Although this series has been beautiful for him, जिस तरह से bounce back किया है, जिस तरह से doubts लोगों ने clear किए.
Yeah, Shini.
Jimmy has the point that Jimmy made on Shubman and number 3 is a very valid one. Okay, especially in the comparison that he made to the men who were occupying that position, Rahul and Pujara. So it's all about what kind of a position it is and why it carried the kind of weight that it did, because these kind of elephants batted at that spot. So now so that is one half of a thing, and we clearly are trying to look at, or we are clearly looking at probably a cricketer whose temperament levels right now don't really indicate to us that he is suited for that position. Maybe an opener where you are allowed a slight more aggression, but at number 3 where the job is to stabilize once you have begun, maybe kind of one step forward, 2 steps back kind of a responsibility is what you look at. Having said that, men who helped India kind of strengthen their number 3, which these 2 names that were taken, weren't really a product of heavy T20 cricket. They belong to a different school. Now your positioning is happening based on a guy who's made his bones majorly in T20 cricket, right? Now, where red ball cricket itself is concerned, you have shuffled him from number three to number one, number 20 to number three. You've really not really told him where he belongs. At least, I don't know whether you've told him that, the day Rohit Sharma goes away, maybe then the opener slot is yours, but until then, you got to kind of. So, this transition phase is not just bad for Shubman, it is bad for the rest of the team as well. And so it's like, nobody knowing where things are going to go into the future. So I think a combination of all these things is spelling out the wrong thing. So what India has now is it has time between now and the end of this year to figure out how long do they want to continue with this mismatch and with this arrangement which doesn't really look comfortable. I think it is this answer that they need to look at. But yes, given the heavy T20 diet that he's been fed on, who Shubman, the temperament level he carries doesn't really encourage you to think that this can be your number three. I would rather that you send him up and have a guy like Rohit come at number three purely for the kind of experience that he carries until you find someone else to kind of come and take over that role, and then you take a call on who you want to build on. I mean, I'm just thinking aloud, that's all.
No, that's an absolutely interesting take. Sahil, I'd like to bring you in here. We have had the thoughts of all the three other panelists. Srini suggests that one scenario can be Rohit Sharma can bat at number three with Gill and Jaiswal opening. What's your take on this?
No, I see Gill dropping to number 4 when Virat and Rohit will no longer be there. I see the number 4 position for him. I don't see him going back to opening because he has himself asked for number 3 position. So I don't see that happening. As in when Virat and Rohit decide to call it a day, Shubman comes in at 4. Probably a Ruturaj Gaikwad, Sai Sudarshan go at the opener slot or for number 3. But Shubman for me is your future number 4. That's how I look at it, for a variety of reasons, for what he can bring to the table and the fluidity of his game. I think he'll be a gun player at number 4. Not that he's doing any injustice to 3 right now. Agreed to the comments made by the rest 3, but I think I see him personally going down to 4 when Virat kind of and Rohit are kind of phase out.
Number 4, yeah,
Yeah,
Srini,
one small thing, that number 3 bit wo jo usne manga na, that he asked because that's the only slot he could figure out. So it was that one of those, because that was the only slot available. So I think that's where the narrative came from.
No, but I think, Srini, what could have happened, when Yashasvi kind of made his debut in West Indies, there was an option of having either Yashasvi at 3 or Shubman at 3. When Shubman himself asked it, management kind of went ahead with Yashasvi at the top because it's a left-right opening combination, makes more sense. And Shubman himself being comfortable for 3 kind of starts the process of him finally settling into the number 4 position. I think he's going to be our number 4 at least for 5 years when Virat says, okay, I'm done with Test cricket now.
No, that's a really interesting debate to have. But till Virat and Rohit retires, we'll have to stick with Shubman Gill at number 3, and that is what the scene is. But moving on to the other batters, Sahil, I'm using the word batter with him because Kuldeep Yadav with the bat. What kind of performances that he has given in this series with the bat? How has he impressed you in the series so far?
No, he has worked very hard on his batting.
Yep.
Every test, he ensured to spend a lot of time in the nets. There were sessions when he started the net session, got it underway. He worked very, very hard in the nets, and this is all result of all those hard yards put in the nets, and it's just paying off for him. And mentally, he's in a much better space. Cricket is a very mental sport. He's in a very good mental space right now. The ball is doing all sorts of tricks which he would have always wanted. So when you're doing good with the ball, aapko confidence already rehta hai, and that is showing in his batting right now. And there was this instance in Rajkot where close to half an hour he was just standing and discussing batting with Rohit Sharma. Back left, head position, all those things. Both him and Mohammad Siraj, both of them were spending a lot of time with Rohit. Rohit didn't bat that day, and he was just spending time with his tail-enders, just kind of injecting sense into them, batting sense into them. So that all that it's showing, and he's growing into confidence. He has a sweep shot, abhi hame picture mein dikh raha hai. That shows that पैर चल रहे हैं, हाथ चल रहे हैं. It's all coming together. When you do good, everything falls in place. He'll probably take a blinder when fielding, because when everything clicks, everything just clicks in cricket. ऐसा मतलब momentum एक बार आपको आ जाता है ना, सब कुछ आपके फेवर में होता है. and that's what happening with Kuldeep right now.
Absolutely, because Jamie, इससे पहले जब भी third spinner की बात होती थी, Akshar was usually preferred because what he brings to the table with the bat, and now with Kuldeep Yadav also grooming his batting और उस पे काम कर रहे हैं. Do you think this side of him will really help in now being in front of Akshar Patel whenever the third spinner debate will come out?
Absolutely. Since he was recalled in December 22nd, he's 2022. He's averaging just under 27 with the bat. That's doing absolutely no harm. We've discussed this. It was never about any lack of skill that he didn't play in the BGT as much or he didn't start. It was because of India's very obvious batting problems that they needed to extend the batting. You know, man to man, there's no comparison. Akshar Patel is a very basic T20 left arm spinner who does that pittu style nose. We have a once in a generation Chinaman bowler. It was never about anything that Kuldeep Yadav didn't do. He could always bat. We know that he's got 150 odd or some big score in first class cricket. Before this series, his last match, he was man of the match, mainly probably 60% for taking 8 wickets, but also scoring 40 very valuable runs in a very narrow win against Bangladesh. So he's done himself absolutely no harm. I believe this team has now moved past the Akshar Patel phase when it comes to home test matches. I hope, like we've all been saying each individually, कि जब भी बांग्लादेश हो, न्यूजीलैंड हो, उससे आगे भी जो टीम आने वाली है 25-26 में, हमें बिल्कुल इन 5 टेस्ट मैच विकेट्स के जैसे और 3-4 टेस्ट मैच विकेट्स मिले. Not Indore, not Nagpur, not Delhi, not Ahmedabad. These kind of 5 wickets so that we can see the beauty of what Kuldeep Yadav does. Unfortunately, it's not going to help him a jot to get a match in Australia because जब अश्विन को नहीं मिलता match overseas, इसको क्या मिलेगा बेचारे को यार. And it's a shame. It's a shame. कायदे से he should be playing every single match in Australia based on what he can do on those tracks, but we know he won't.
Yeah, fair point. Talking about the England bowling lineup now, Taus, where do you think things went wrong for England? Is it the pitch? Is it that good for batting now? Is it just the excellence of how the Indian batters have batted in this innings, or do you think England has also faltered somewhere with the ball?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's Indian batting, of course, and wicket. The way these guys have responded to this wicket. I mean, if you look at the first day of play, how England goofed up with their batting order, it was a batting beauty again. Like जैसे मैं कह रहा हूँ पहले से ही कि यार बैटिंग ब्यूटी थी, यहाँ पर ठहरना इंपॉर्टेंट था. आप ठहरते तो अपने आप रन आते हैं. एग्जैक्टली क्या किया ये बंदों ने, हम यही इसी के लिए तो रू कर रहे. वी हैव बीन डूइंग द फैक्ट दैट these guys just threw away the chances to convert them into milestones. कोई 3 figure mark, कोई double 100, कोई 150. I mean, yeah, but Indian batters collectively did a great job, right? Although they threw away the wickets, I mean, they could have capitalized on the starts, on the beautiful starts that they got. They just threw away the wickets. So, of course, when it comes to bowling, they were looking clueless. Inexperienced attack है. अभी तक शोएब बशीर, I mean, 6 wicket निकाले, but then he's been more expensive. तो वो सीखना चाहिए. But I'm not. See, these Tom Hartley and शोएब बशीर, ये सीख रहे बंदे. फर्स्ट सीरीज है इनका इंडिया में और ये सीखेंगे. And while you look at Kuldeep Yadav, somebody who has played for long, Ashwin playing his 100 tests, Jadeja has been with the Indian team for a long time. तो इनको अपने घर के conditions मालूम है, कहाँ कैसे operate करना है. These guys know well. While you compare this to Shoaib Bashir and Tom Hartley, no chance. Yeah, I mean, this is their first series and they are. I mean, personally, ये England team ही interested नहीं लग रही मुझे यार, पता नहीं क्यों. I mean, वो दिख रहा नहीं है मुझे. Basball बोल के खेल रहे, but then उनका जो attitude है, winners attitude नहीं दिख रहा है. Basball attitude मुझे ज्यादा दिख रहा है इसमें यार. खेलते रहो, जैसा जो आए enjoy करो, खाली मारो या mindset ले आओ, aggressive intent दिखाओ, bowling हो या batting हो. But then वो winners ये think, because you have to adopt to different situations, सिर्फ conditions नहीं, situations भी. आप कैसे लेके चल रहे हो, आप capitalize, आप रोहित शर्मा को criticize करते यार, वो defensive हो जाता है. ये बंदों ने क्या किया? ये बंदे बैकफुट पे, इनसे सवाल नहीं उठे क्योंकि ये इंग्लैंड के, तो ये उनको क्वेश्चन करना चाहिए उनकी मीडिया एग्जैक्टली कि व्हाई दे आर स्ट्रगलिंग विद, आई मीन, डिस्पाइट हैविंग, these guys are not bad spinners by the way. Tom Hartley is a good left arm spinner. Bashir, you saw what he did. He's a tall guy. He can be the lion. of for like how what Lion is for Australia, he can be for England. But यहाँ पर पहला सीरीज है, but हमारे इंग्लैंड इंडियन बैट्समैन ने आउटडू किया है इनको, so it's like it's pure Indian batting dominance. That's it, and our Indian bowlers are too experienced, yeah, too experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. Srini, is it safe to say that the mental and the physical fatigue have kicked in for the England team now? Because especially when you are so down and out in a test match, and you know you have played 4 test matches before this, you are going home after this. Do you think that mental fatigue and also along with it the physical fatigue is showing in the England team?
Yeah, I mean, see, it's a combination of things. I don't think it's. I mean, right now, if they of all the 5 venues, if they would have found themselves at home, it is here in Dharamsala, where they're really at home. In so many ways. But let's go back to the start of the series. Hyderabad, they do what they have to do. Start on a very, very good note. Visakhapatnam. So, we are literally looking at that game, the second game, and the series possibly slipping out of India's hands. See, let's not forget that the early narrative of the series was Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam. We were like, we were doing these shows, and we were wondering, will India be able to save this series at home? And that is how bad it looked. And then it is instances in separate this thing that brought India back. You didn't look at bulk scoring from India's top order that really kind of changed things, or kind of somebody really walking into running away with runaway spells, so there's a slot of individual performances that what helped from time to time, like Jasprit Bumrah, Dhruv Jurel's 90. Again, Kuldeep Yadav getting in that confidence. He's just this series he will possibly remember this series as the one where he really has grown into an individual of supreme self-confidence. The other day, I attended a press conference, and after a long time, and I really hadn't seen this boy speak in public. And I saw him in that press conference the other day. He looks like he's at home. The way he expressed himself, he's like, हाँ ठीक है, अब जो होगा होगा, देखा जाएगा, मैं एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ अभी. वो उसकी चेहरे पे दिख रहा था. वो कहाँ, मतलब for the longest time, Kuldeep kind of what I mean, in circles that we spoke and discussed him, the only thing that garnered those that surrounded those discussions was like, यार इस लड़के का ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, थोड़ा क्रिकेट इसको खिला भी देंगे तो ढंग का क्रिकेट इसको मिला नहीं है जिस तरीके का मिलना चाहिए. He's not got that kind. So again, now this guy looks to be at home. So there are individual performances that has brought India back into the series, and then them on the front foot. The Jurels and the Sarfarazes, and they all came and kind of, and then what I mean, it all added to the pressure on Shubman. Then Shubman comes and gets that second innings 100. Then from there he kind of begins. Off cycle begins again. Rohit obviously is back among runs. Early on in the series, I was the one to kind of be like, where did he throw his wicket? I think it was a Hyderabad Test match. From there on to see, kind of. So now Rohit, with that aggression, slowing down, going the classical way, sitting in a press conference and making fun of Basball. The series has really turned things a full cycle. And having said that, I think if this ends 4-1, which is going to happen tomorrow, more or less, I think even from the perspective of the grammar that surrounds a test series, as high profile as this one, I think you're really looking at Basball, the term disappearing. I mean, getting thrown out of the window, and I think which is necessary now, because it doesn't make any sense to kind of give a term, give a name, and continue with it to a style of cricket that really doesn't mean anything. And this series has once again proved it. Hindi mein there is a kahavat, na ghar ke na ghat ke. That is what comes to mind when you now repeat this term Basball. It really doesn't make any sense. So I hope England, they are playing 6 test matches at home, right? I mean, this summer, and they're playing lesser known teams. I mean, they're playing relatively weaker teams. I mean, coming to India, playing India is obviously as big as it gets. So back home, obviously they're playing relatively weaker teams. They'll be in a strong position. That's when they've got to figure out for themselves if they really want to continue with this whatever Basball nonsense, or they really want to come back and think that, it is the classical approach alone that helps you sustain in Test cricket. Joe Root's form in this series, Joe Root's batting in this series, Joe Root's failures in this series are nothing but a result of a wrong mindset that they've been carrying. That's at least what comes to my mind.
But Shini, I have this question here. Do you think under the tag or term of baseball, whatever the word is used, do you think the England team has started taking this very casually in the sense that एक होता है कि हार गए तो हम प्रेशर नहीं लेंगे, एक होता है जीते या हारे हमें कोई टेंशन नहीं है, हम एंजॉय करने आए, हम एंटरटेन करने आए. Do you
बट
think they have?
बैसबॉल का जो इन्होंने फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एक क्लियर मीनिंग तो कभी बैसबॉल का निकल के ही नहीं आया है. हम हमेशा ये ढूंढते रहे कि भाई बैसबॉल है क्या. मतलब आप ये समझाइए कि बैसबॉल इज व्हाट अग्रेसिव क्रिकेट, fearless cricket, so from time to time the meaning of that word has changed. I think depending, it's become a very convenient term. Bairstow or a Ben Stokes wins a game for England out of the blue, suddenly it becomes aggressive cricket. Kind of, you lose a test match and you go back home thinking, okay, we'll fight another day. The headline becomes around fearless cricket, where you really don't, it doesn't matter. You'll continue to play. So what exactly does this term baseball mean? At least I, from the outside, have never been able to. And the irony of it all, and the funny bit about this is their coach, who the term has been like kind of, a Baz McCullum. He himself denies the existence of baseball in theory or in practice. Or I have not seen Baz McCullum talk about baseball as much as English media. So, kind of, it's like English media has picked up a crown, put it on McCullum's head and says, yeah, it is baseball. Wear this crown. You're going to live with it. We are going to help you keep wearing it. We are going to help you make look good wearing that crown. Whereas you have Baz McCullum who's saying, I don't need this. I really don't understand this. And when he's been talking to the media, he's been saying, I really don't know what this is. That's the difference. And he can't do, and the crown has now become way too heavy. And now you're wondering whose responsibility is it anyway?
Yeah, no, fair point, fair point. And as Jamie and Sahil also said, that let's call it the new approach of the English team. Sahil, in this new approach, the leader of this approach, Ben Stokes, he bowled 5 overs today, and we have been talking about will Ben Stokes bowl or not bowl. You were there, you were in the press box along with Chini. You saw him bowling. Was there any effect of bowling on his body because we talk about his injury? आपको लगा 5 overs डाल के कि नहीं? Because see, bowling after such a long time and then पहली ball पे taking an in-form batter Rohit Sharma out और उसके बाद 5 ओवर डालना, do you think he can bowl more? वो बस बहुत ज्यादा cautious हो रहे हैं अपनी body को लेकर.
He is Destiny's child. Simple. No one writes his script. I don't know who writes his scripts. 8 महीने में पहला ball, you get the Indian captain out. You can't write that script, boss. And what happens to his body, I think now is not the time to kind of have any sort of indication for that, because generally what happens after these long injury layoffs and then you bowl, it's the morning after where you decide what's going to happen. So I hope he pulls up fine tomorrow and doesn't like feel sore or anything, but he looked good. Yeah, like the speed was in the early 130s to say the least, and that first ball that tangled in and वो बाहर पड़ा, मतलब वो सिर्फ बेन स्टोक्स टाइप स्क्रिप्ट है यार. 2 साल में एक ऐसा इनिंग भी आता है, और आई थिंक वो अभी का कोटा बॉल का तो पूरा कर दिया उसने.
Absolutely, Destiny's child, as
I have
Sahil
a
said.
question
Well,
for Sahil.
yeah, Taus.
Yeah, Taus bhai.
Sahil, this guy was Devdutt Padikkal was there in the press conference और वो बोला मुझे शाम में मैसेज मिला रात में. वो क्या मसला है यार वो, और सुबह में बीसीसीआई बोल रही कि यार दिस गाय इंजर्ड हिज हील इन द मॉर्निंग, सोर था उसमें सुबह में.
तो ये शरारत देवदत्त पाटिकल के साथ मैंने ही करी थी, क्योंकि मुझे पूछना था उसको मैसेज आया कब था. So I just asked him यार, मतलब ऐसा मेरा कोई इंटेंशन नहीं था, but I just asked him कि because you got to know so late about the debut, mentally you weren't keeping those thoughts in the head, so were probably batting with a free mind कि उतना सोचने का मौका नहीं मिला, वरना आपको पहले पता होता तो आप सोचते रहते हो हर डेब्यू हो रहा है. So he said it's not that he came to know on the morning of the match, he was indicated a day before that he could play next day. So उसको could would अब क्या रहा वो तो रजत पाटीदार का एंकल ही बता पाएगा, और एनसीए जाते हैं नहीं जाते, क्या करते हैं, कौन सा इंजेक्शन लगता है, क्या लगता है, भगवान जावे. बट आई थिंक आई नो वी हैव सीन द लास्ट ऑफ रजत पाटीदार इन वाइट्स. आई थिंक, मुझे नहीं लगता अब आपको वो स्क्वाड में देखेंगे. अब जगह नहीं है यार, अब नेक्स्ट 2 होम असाइनमेंट से पहले आपको अब जगह नहीं मिलने वाला, अब जगह ही नहीं होगा, क्योंकि देवदत्त सरफराज दोनों ने रन कर दिए. तो स्क्वाड में तो वही ट्रैवल करेंगे ना जिसने रन किए हुए हैं.
बिल्कुल, और जिन्होंने रन्स किए वो प्लेइंग 11 में भी ना हो शायद, बिकॉज कोहली, राहुल, they will also be back. Also, I was listening to David Padikkal after the day got ended, जो जियो सिनेमा का पोस्ट मैच होता है उसमें he said that it's not good to know इतना लास्ट मोमेंट पे बिकॉज आप मेंटली रेडी नहीं होते, बट देन दिस इज इंडियाज अपॉर्चुनिटी. आई वांटेड टू ग्रैब इट फ्रॉम बोथ द एंड्स. विल मूव ऑन टू द कमेंट्स नाउ. काफी सवाल है, काफी ओपिनियंस है. आई लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट माय प्रोड्यूसर टू flash some comments here. Rajdeep Ghadge is asking, will we see an immediate change for the 4, 5, 6 position for India? Kohli, KL and Pant in the Bangladesh New Zealand home series, or will the debutant be in the mix leading to the Australian England tour? Srini, what do you think?
Pant, I'm not going to look at Pant in such a hurry. I'm not going to, please stop hurrying Pant for anything. Let him take his time. वो मुझे नेक्स्ट ईयर इंग्लैंड की सीरीज तक भी अगर वो फिट होके आएंगे ना, वो जिस दिन आएंगे, आई वांट हिम टू लाइक काइंड ऑफ प्ले गुड अमाउंट ऑफ क्रिकेट इन द फ्यूचर. ये नहीं कि आपने उसको घाई करा दिया. IPL जो है वो आप क्या, it's a shortest format, you can pick and choose your games, you are much at home, it's a team that you understand well, so that's more of a comfortable setting. But when it comes to international cricket, India right now, I'm going to go slow on Pant. Now that said, KL Rahul is now in the NCA. Okay, Virat is back. Virat is going to come back, now after the series is over. He's going to his break will get over. He's going to come back. The IPL kind of opens up a new space, and he will obviously he's going to travel to the World Cup in the Caribbean, T20 World Cup, and he's very much there. So you don't need to worry about that. KL is in NCA. KL is good. Maybe, just maybe, the few early matches for LSG in the IPL, he may miss a couple of games, that too, just to be very sure. But that aside, even KL is going to come back. So those two are sorted. But Pant, no hurrying back Pant right now. Let him take his time.
Srini, if closer to the Australia series, Pant is ready for batting, not for keeping, will you play him just as a batter in the 11, especially in Australia?
If Pant, to me, he was a bigger match winner with the bat than anything. If Rishabh Pant is ready, and then obviously he has to play a bit of domestic cricket. See, it's not like आप बहुत बड़े क्रिकेटर हो, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप एक साल से बाहर हो ना, आपको फिर भी वो जो ड्यू डिलिजेंस है आपको वो करके ही टीम में आना पड़ेगा ना. It's not like a छोटा मोटा this injury hassle that he's gone through. He's gone through the trauma of his life. So this is as physical, as mental, as anything else. And if he has to come back as a wicket-keeper batter in a 5-day format, it's no joke. It is no joke at all. He will have to play some good amount of first-class cricket to find his way back.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We'll move on to the next commenter session. Hope they don't go back to KL for home test. We are Sarfaraz to tackle spin. KL can be used in Sena. Jamie, do you agree that we can use Sarfaraz over KL on Indian soils and Indian conditions?
100% I agree, but I know it's not going to happen. जब तक राहुल द्रविड़ है, केएल राहुल हैं.
नहीं, but
नहीं,
तो वैसे कह रहा हूँ, अभी तो मेरे को तुम घर पे अभी क्या करते हो मेरे को कोई लेना देना है. मैं 2 ही टेस्ट सीरीज I'm going to watch with absolute interest now. I want to know what do you do when you go to Australia, what do you do when you go to England. यहाँ तुम घर पे भी कुछ भी कर लो, इंग्लैंड से जीत गए हो, so you are good enough to play at home with this squad, whether you play KL or whether you play Sarfaraz, whatever the rest of the teams that come here, you're good enough to win those series. So I'm not really going to worry about it. My question is, what do you do when you go to Australia?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We'll move on to the next comment. Please, friendly neighbor Jadeja once again the mood killer. I have no idea what it is. Taus, is Jadeja your mood killer for today? Maybe he's talking about the strike rate कि सबने 60-90 से मारा, उन्होंने 30 के strike rate से मारा. The only point I can see. But did Jadeja kill your mood today?
Jadeja, if he wants to be aggressive, he can be. He has the skills यार, power है, skills है, उसको मालूम है क्या करना है. But mood killer यार, अभी situation वही थी ना यार, क्या कर सकते थे. You have lost, सिर्फ बैट्समैन को आप लूज करके जो अटैक कर रहे थे, जो अग्रेसिव खेल रहे थे, जो रन बना रहे थे, आप सडनली उनको एक के बाद एक लूज कर लोगे तो क्या होगा. आपको रन्स भी तो बिल्डअप करना है, आपको लीड भी बढ़ानी है. सिचुएशन को समझो, क्रिकेट ऐसे नहीं होता कि जाके बैंग बैंग करके आ जाए।
That's a fair point. Next comment, please. Ravi Shankar Kumar is asking, Indian batters should make sure not to give wickets to James Anderson because he is on 699 wickets. He needs 1 wicket to complete 700 wickets. Sahil, do you see Anderson completing 700 wickets now? Because I don't see India batting again. If they don't, these 2 wickets are the only chance for Anderson now.
No, even if he does take 700 wickets, क्या problem है यार? मतलब let him also celebrate that occasion. We have kind of frustrated him enough in the series. 4 टेस्ट मैच खिला दिए यार बूढ़े शेर को आपने, मतलब वो मतलब आसान नहीं है उसके लिए भी. So let him take those 700 test wickets, get that photo op done probably for the big wall in his house. Let him get that moment, and he has been a legend, right? So he deserves to take that 700th wicket, and I hope it happens tomorrow.
Sahil, do you think this is his last time against India now? Because the next series is 1
Obviously.
year away. Yeah,
Obviously.
there's no point. Yeah. So
Obviously.
this is the last series against India, and as he said, unfortunately, no Virat Kohli in it for that battle. But sports fan is saying we cannot be critical on England.
Unfortunately for who?
Unfortunately for the fans, because we love to see Anderson and Kohli. But yeah, good battle nevertheless. But sports fan is saying we cannot be critical on England's winners in experience much, but experienced England pacers have also underperformed than Indian pacers. Shini, do you agree that the England pacers have underperformed?
Pacers have underperformed.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think for the kind of tracks that we dished out in Rajkot and Ranchi, I mean, these were batting friendly tracks, and I think we need to give a good amount of credit to our batters, to our young. See, why have we done this whole show trying to talk good about a Sarfaraz or a Jurel or even today, kind of Patidar getting his half century or Shubman coming back to form. These are or Yashasvi, the kind of runs that he's piled up. Why are we actually praising them? Obviously, because they've done a good job, right? I mean, so it's unfortunate to say that they have underperformed. I mean, I don't think so. In fact, to the contrary, I would give a lot of credit to the way England spinners have bowled in these conditions, because they have tried to punch above their weight. I mean, when these spinners had landed here, I remember a very popular former cricketer put out on Twitter saying that it is surprising that England couldn't arrive here with a better bunch of tweakers. So if you look at that in hindsight, I think these guys have managed to kind of punch above their weight. And understand that they lost Leach early in the series. He had to return. Despite that, I think they have really tried to punch above their weight. And I didn't think underperformed. Kind of what were you expecting from a Jimmy Anderson in these conditions in Ranchi and Rajkot?
No, fair enough. We'll move on to the next comment, please. Prashant Dogra is saying Jimmy Sir was not optimistic about Rohit's double century yesterday. That's why he did not. Jimmy Sir were not optimistic. Well, Jimmy.
एक तो I will call him Prakash instead of Prashant because he still doesn't know what my name is. JIMMY और JAMIE में जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. और हाँ Prakash, it's because I said that yesterday that Rohit Sharma got out for 103. Yeah. That's the reason. Let's
stick to it. Either he's mean or I think he means Jimmy Anderson. Sahil sir, India winning. Bhavya is saying Sahil sir, India winning comfortably, or still a 1% chance of Hyderabad repeat. And what's your take on Rohit's inning and dismissal? Sahil, any chance of the Hyderabad kind of comeback from the England team? And also
No, for the first part, Rohit's innings brilliant, proper typical Rohit innings where he kind of enjoys batting. He was enjoying batting. Dismissal, can't do much about that. Yeah, that was a top delivery. First delivery from a bowler who hasn't bowled much in the last 7-8 months. Angled in, shaped away, top delivery.
Yeah.
Good innings, top delivery.
Absolutely. Next question, please. Zing Thing, nice name. A win or loss in cricket for India is not same for England. For them, it's game, not a religion. इसलिए वो मजे कर रहे हैं. Look at their Barmy army and players. We Indians take cricket too seriously, and I don't know, Taus, what do you have to say?
No point answering that question.
We are taking cricket too seriously.
हाँ यार, हम क्या है तो लेंगे. I mean, look at the competition यार. Seriously, profession है सबका, तो I mean पूरा इकोसिस्टम है ना, तो इंग्लैंड फॉर देम दे हैव लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज, दे हैव एवरीथिंग, दे हैव सब सपोर्ट है यार उनके पास. यहाँ पर हमारे पास कॉमन क्या एक चीज, एक वो प्यार है, हम वी आर इमोशनल पीपल, वी लव द स्पोर्ट, और अभी तक obviously
Yeah,
we
that's a fair point. We'll stick to it.
yeah
We'll stick
absolutely.
to it. And this is India loves cricket. The fans love cricket. Sunny is saying, is a win by an innings possible for India? I think it is. Shini, do you agree? A win by an innings possible for India? Yeah.
You should win by innings. That's exactly what I'm looking forward to. Just
Yeah.
wrap it up
Yeah.
by today or tomorrow evening, whatever amount of time we bat tomorrow, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. The lead is what? 250 plus. I don't know the exact, what is the
255.
exact?
255.
Yeah, that's a good 260, 270 runs. Whatever. If you get more than that, then I mean, I pinned my hopes on Bumrah anyway. But otherwise, also this whatever this leaders is fine and good enough. You need to wrap up, and even they'll be looking to kind of see the closer you are now. They've gotten as close as they can to now leaving back for home, right? So the closer you are to home, you just want to wrap up and leave. That's about it.
Yeah. We'll take two more comments before we end this live. Ujjwal Maurya saying, "ये अपना दादा player दादा 100 कब बनाएगा?" Sarfaraz was looking ominous and then nothing short. Sahil, दादा player दादा 100 कब बनाएगा?
बनेगा. He's doing what is required यार. मतलब I thought that first half of the innings where he did look a bit nervy, probably because he didn't score in Ranchi both the innings, but he showed that he belongs to this stage. Oh, दादा player है यार. वो जो accelerate किया ना, अब मैं I won't take names, or someone in the press box came to me and said, ये क्या बैटिंग कर रहा है, 3 रन पे खेल रहा है, स्ट्राइक रेट देखो इसका कितना है, क्या है. मैं ऐसे पीछे मुड़ा, मैं कहा मतलब समझा नहीं मैं क्या करे वो. और नहीं मारो ना, सबका स्ट्राइक रेट 60 के ऊपर है. मैं कहा मैं अभी भी नहीं समझा आप कहना क्या चाह रहे हो. ये विकेट थोड़ी है ऐसा रोक के खेलने वाला. मैं कहा मुझे सवाल अभी भी नहीं समझ आया. अरे ये बनता ही नहीं इस टीम के अंदर. मैं कहा कौन, सरफराज? हाँ, ये रन कहाँ कर रहा है? मैं कहा राजकोट में 2 हाफ सेंचुरी था ना इसका. हाँ, रांची में नहीं किए. मैं फिर ऐसे मुड़ा. फिर उसके बाद जब वो मारना शुरू हुआ ना, मैं ढूंढता रहा, वो मेरे को इंसान ही नहीं दिखा. मैं कहा यार मतलब लोग इतना अच्छा बैटिंग किया हो यार, और वो एक्सेलरेट करके रन बॉल पे आ गया था. So he knows his, and those shots show that he has the confidence to pick his shots and pick the spots.
बट एक चीज
Means,
तुमने मार्क
yeah,
किया है, एक चीज मार्क करो सरफराज का, दिस गाय आई मीन वो सिचुएशन समझ के खेलता है, ऑल्दो आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट डिसमिसल, वो कैच दे दिया, बट देन ही अंडरस्टैंड द सिचुएशन, अंडरस्टैंड्स, ही कैन ग्राइंड देयर. अब वो लंबा नॉक भी खेल सकता है, ही कैन स्टे देयर एट द विकेट, ही इज डन दैट, ही नोज हाउ टू मेक दोस बिग हंड्रेड्स. ऑल्दो नहीं आए, तीनों अपॉर्चुनिटीज गंवा दिया, ही वेस्टेड इट, बट this guy knows exactly how to grind, when to take on the attack, when to take on the spinners. फास्ट बॉलर्स को कितना रिस्पेक्ट देने का है, बैक फुट फ्रंट फुट अगले, ही वोंट लुक स्टाइलिश व्हेन इट कम्स टू प्लेइंग दोस शॉट्स, और मे बी वो एक क्लासिकल डिफेंस नहीं देखेगा, बट वो जो स्ट्रीट स्मार्टनेस क्रिकेट आपको देखने मिलेगा, या यहाँ पर जमीन पे या गली क्रिकेट में, वो सब जबरदस्त देखने मिलता है सरफराज से. So this guy knows how to grind and when to take on the attack. That is the beauty.
Yeah, Shini.
I will any comment on Sarfaraz. I will wait until I see him playing overseas. यहाँ पे मेरे को उसको जज ही नहीं करना है on these tracks. एक ही था आज लंच के बाद जब वो खेल रहा था, मैं I was sitting at the other end, ड्रेसिंग रूम वाली एंड पे बैठा था मैं, वहां से I was watching him. पेसर्स जब इंग्लिश पेसर्स वर ऑन, वो हर बॉल मिडिल नहीं कर पा रहा था वो, मतलब थोड़ा सा था वो, मतलब यू स्टिल ट्राइंग टू सेटल डाउन वो. तो काइंड ऑफ अब ये बॉल थोड़ी और हिलेगी, इंग्लैंड में पता नहीं क्या होगा. मुझे वो थोड़ा सा देख के लगा ये शेर शायद कहीं बॉल ढूंढने न लग जाए इंग्लैंड में, लेकिन काइंड ऑफ वो काइंड ऑफ, सो आई डोंट नो. आई मीन जब तक ये बाहर नहीं खेलेगा, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू जज हिम.
Yeah, that's actually a very fair point.
On tracks at home वो तो रन बनाया ही है. He's got such a heavy appetite for runs. और हम सब ये अग्री करते हैं कि इसका जो डेब्यू हुआ है इंडिया के लिए लेट हुआ है, पहले होना थी जब ये एक्चुअली इतने जो रन्स मारा था, बट बेटर लेट देन नेवर. सो इट्स सो गुड टू सी हिम प्ले फॉर इंडिया. It's good to see him score runs. It's good to see him, kind of grow in confidence. That young boy, he's gone through his share of hardships. He's gone through his share of struggles to get here. So it's really heartening to see him. But what I want to see is he really taking this to the next level. And that next level for me would be to go to Australia score, to go to England score, especially in England. I want to see that will be the benchmark to see what quality of a batter he is. वो करता है, then I'm really looking forward to seeing Sarfaraz cement his place in the India middle order and playing for a while.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We'll take the last comment now. Cricket is emotion. How many of you think the game will end tomorrow? Well, this was supposed to be my last question as well. We'll go to every panelist from here on. Sahil says yes, the game ends tomorrow. Sahil, 255 is enough. Even if we wrap it up by 260, let's say. Do you think it's enough for England? Shrini?
Yeah, the game should end tomorrow.
Taus? And Jamie? I guess we have a common opinion here that the game will end tomorrow. Sorry, Jamie,
Hey.
sir, for mispronouncing your name.
You can also call him Prashant back again.
Thank you, Prashant.
Well,
Good guy, Prashant Dogra. Good guy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tao. Thank you so much, Shini, Sahil, and Jamie. Thank you so much for connecting with us. And thank you so much to all of viewers. What a series this has been. Probably one more day and a tough day for England fans. As I said at the start, the only good visuals they had was of the Dauladar range, because whatever was happening on the field was not to be seen by the England fans. Not a good day for them. Well, thank you so much to all of viewers. I will see you tomorrow for the lunch session. And thank you so much to our panel as well. Have a nice day.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।